Handknit Goodies podcast. This is our second podcast. My name's Gabie.
I'm Keisha.
And I am Gabie's Goodies on Instagram and Ravelry.
And I am...
7 Hand Knits.
That's right. That's right. I'm 7 Hands Knits on Instagram.
Yes. And if you're curious about why we started our podcast and how we got started knitting, check out our first podcast.
Yeah, our first podcast was posted 2 weeks ago. And there we did introduce ourselves and told you our stories about how we became knitters. Mm-hmm. And we explained why we started podcasting. So in this podcast, we have a little special addition we want to add, which is called Golden Goodies.
Yes.
Where we share goodies from the more distant past.
Yes. Since you guys haven't seen any of our older projects, we thought it would be fun to share them.
Right. So do you want to go first? I'm excited to see yours.
Let's see. Okay. Well, first I actually wanted to talk about my mug, although I'm not super prepared for it because I didn't look up where I got it from. This was a gift by one of my sets of parents, and it is a hand-done pottery, and she used some type of like salt glaze. I don't know if you can see it, but she etched these cute little sheep. My daughter pointed out that they have belly buttons, which I think is adorable.
That is so cute.
And it's just like the perfect size. I will find out where it's from. It was on Etsy, and put a link down below. But then I also wanted to ask you, what is your favorite drink? I love coffee in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I do iced coffee when it's hot.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't drink coffee that often. I have a coffee pot, regular Mr. Coffee pot. And I really love, when I do make coffee, I drink probably 2 cups of coffee a week.
Really? I drink 2 a day.
Yeah, I mean, not on
Sometimes a little
purpose,
more.
it's not like I do that on purpose. I just don't feel like getting my coffee pot and making coffee sometimes. I'm more of a tea drinker. So my favorite coffee is Peruvian blend. It's an organic blend that I get from BJ's, and I like to drink that with almond milk because I can't have whole milk in my coffee. Yeah.
Oh,
it's so good.
I like whole milk.
And the almond milk, I actually get an almond milk cream, and they have different flavors, so it's kind of sweet. I like it. And then for tea, I like a lot of different teas, but my most recent tea that I've started loving a whole lot is raspberry leaf and hibiscus. Today in my tea mug over there, that you can't see, I don't know why I pointed to it, I have a bit hibiscus tea, and I also have a sweet tangerine.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I like tea in the winter,
Mm-hmm.
in the afternoons, if I get a break and can like sit down and knit and have a cup of tea.
Yep.
I do love that. All right, so knitting, baby.
Mm-hmm.
All right, should we start with whips?
Golden
Or
goodies.
what we're wearing? Or golden goodies?
Yeah, let's start with what we're wearing, and then we'll go
Okay.
into golden goodies.
All right, so this I showed on my last podcast, but I wasn't wearing it. It is called Lule, I believe. That's how you pronounce it.
And why did you come up with that name?
It means blossom.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was very springy and blossomy with all the colors swirling around. So this is my own pattern, and it is in the process of being tested. And I have plenty of smalls and medium testers, but I have nobody for extra small, large, or extra large. And I graded my pattern for, I was trying to do a wider range of sizes, and I actually accomplished extra small to extra large. So I was really hoping to get some testers. So if you're interested, I have it up on Ravelry in the testing pool, and maybe I can leave a link down below. So if you're interested, especially in large, extra large, and small, I need some testers. It is a top-down raglan increase knit, and I have 2 different colorways. These are from Sweet Georgia Yarns. I mentioned it last time. This is something cranberry, and I think this is violet, maybe? Mm-hmm. and I can also relink those or mention those below again. And it fades to the darker one, so from the speckled to the tonal. From the sleeves and down below, and it has kind of a swirling lace pattern here, the same on the back. I don't know if you can see it or not.
You should put your Instagram picture in the corner.
Oh, maybe. Yes. So that's what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a size small if you're interested. Seamless. You split for the sleeves here, and then you pick up and knit these little sleeves at the end.
It's cute. You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Blackberry yogurt, swirl yogurt.
It does.
I might be hungry.
Could be it.
It looks delicious.
Why, thank you.
It's pretty. I really
Thank you.
like it. And you know what else it reminds me of?
What?
The 70s. Not that I know anything about the 70s.
Yeah.
You know,
I wasn't born then either.
I was a young child in the 80s, so I don't remember the 70s, but
Same here.
I'm just saying I know the fashion from that time. And that's what it looks like.
Well,
What do you think?
I think 70s are cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if it reminds me of the 70s or not.
It's pretty,
Thanks.
nonetheless. So now we're gonna get into golden goodies.
Golden goodies. That sounds good. What do you have?
Okay, well, I have two of my golden goodies are actually the same thing, so I'm just gonna show them both at the same time. And they are men's knitted ties. Let me put my whip away because it's falling off my lap.
I'm so excited to show ties because I think that
Yes.
this might be a first in the knitting podcasting world, knitted ties. Not that no one has ever knit ties, I just haven't seen them mentioned.
Yeah, I have not seen them mentioned, and I knit these all the time. Okay, so this was a Christmas gift, if I remember correctly. I knitted these last year, and this was a birthday gift. This one is my favorite because it is a moss stitch, and that's what I love about it. Because I don't know why I sung that. I love it. But yeah, let me sit down. It's navy blue, and I don't remember the yarn I used. I'm so sorry, but it was most likely a Lion Brand yarn because I'm always using Lion Brand. And I don't know if this is showing up on camera, but it has a little bit of a sheen to it, which I think looks great for knitted ties. And then this one is a simple garter stitch tie. And you know, if you're new to knitting and you want to practice, you know, decreases, and you want to knit something that's not a full garment piece, but you can give it away as a gift and it's not intimidating, I think ties are a good start. These are great gifts for graduations. We got graduations coming up in May. They're great gifts for, of course, birthdays and Christmas, but these will make great graduation gifts, especially from college, where knitted ties for your college interview. I have a little tie holder, not tie holder, I'm sorry.
Like
it's when they tie it and tuck it so
Yeah.
it doesn't fly away. I think I remember that this yarn I think was by Red Heart, and it is acrylic, which I recommend for knitting ties because acrylic, it lays nicely. Like I think it stays. If you use a sock yarn, I don't think it will stay. I think it will
Might be a
fly
little
around.
flimsy. That might be more to do with the size yarn
Yeah.
versus the like what it's made out of, maybe.
And this is
I don't know.
a garter
That's like
stitch
worsted
tie.
weight, right?
Yes, I think it is. I wish.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Now,
I don't remember the
The
yarn.
navy blue one, is that the one you said is his favorite?
No, this is my favorite.
That's your favorite.
He won't tell me which one is his favorite.
Oh.
Remember?
Yeah, that's right.
But I just think these ties are so knitted ties on men. Like men just look good when they wear knitted ties. Like to me, like it's such a preppy, like especially when they wear it in like with a vest, like a sweater vest.
Does your husband have to wear ties regularly to work? Does he dress up to work?
Mm-hmm.
My husband doesn't anymore, so he wears jeans and like a collared, like
These
polo shirt.
These look
days.
great with jeans, and they look great with plaid shirts because you can.
Be perfect for winter. Plaid
Yeah.
shirt and a knitted tie. Very
Yes,
cozy.
and the solid color just picks up some color in the plaid. So yeah, that's it for my golden goodies. What do you have?
Okay, so I brought definitely golden with age. So I guess I'll show this first and then I'll show where I got it from. This is like a little girl's poncho. Let's see, this is the front. Okay, I knit this for my first daughter, who is now 8, and I probably knit it for her when she was, yes, she turned 8 in February. When she was about, goodness, 2 or 3. So it's kind of cropped, but very wide. I didn't realize quite how wide it would come out. I did not swatch back then. Sometimes, or a lot of times I don't swatch now.
I swatch
but back then I did not swatch at all. So it crosses over here and then it's seamed. So it stays closed. And it's knit, I think, in 2 pieces, maybe plus the hood. No, it's knit, the sleeves are knit separate. And it's raglan. And then the front and back are 2 pieces and seamed together. And the funny thing is, okay, so my second daughter also wears this and she is 5.5 now. I never wove in any of my ends. So they're still hanging out whenever she wears it. But that's okay.
And you just don't want to.
You just know it's,
ever?
I don't know. I just didn't, and now I don't know. I just haven't done it. So anyways, that's that.
That's what I love about hand knit items, because they're just, you know,
made with
so
love.
special, and that's what makes them special.
Yes.
Because they're made like, they're not perfect, that's the point.
Yeah. So this is what I got it from. I purchased this probably at Joann Fabrics. The yarn is most likely acrylic. I don't know if it's Burnett yarn or might be Lion Brand or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do all the buttons and I didn't do the stitch work. I intended to, but at the time I was happy I just finished it. My youngest daughter wore it recently when we went on a field trip to Baymont. Have you been there?
Yes.
Baymont.
Is that
Baymont's a big
farm park, zoo?
Yes. They have a petting zoo and like a big garden. And it was kind of cold that day, so she actually wore a sweater I knit for her, plus she wore this over top of it. And with Movie Magic, we'll insert it here. She was adorable. She had sunglasses on and her the hood is kind of pointy, so it was super cute. This is Kaysen.
Okay.
The youngest one, yes. I have 3 kids, boy, girl, 10 down to 5.5. So do you have any other finished objects?
I have no finished objects.
No?
You know, it's been only 2 weeks, so.
True.
And speaking of that, it's been only 2 weeks, and I started 2 projects that I ripped back, and I consider that a big setback in my knitting. Not like a depressing setback, just a setback.
Why did you rip them back?
Wasn't happy with the stitching. I wasn't happy with what was happening with it. It just, I think that I was too anxious. So, what I normally like to do when I have setbacks like that is, especially if it's for a larger item, right, a garment piece. So what I would do is take a deep breath, you know, and step away from it, put it down. Well, I ripped it all the way back, so it's easy to put it down because it's just yarn again. And I grab something light and quick that I can knit, and it refuels me for knitting.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up knitting, I said, let me just knit my socks. I wanted to knit, I know this probably looks like a big Christmas stocking, but
Maybe not quite that big. It does look a little bit big though.
yeah, I blocked it, but this is my chunky knit sock, and
I like the yarn.
chunky knit sock.
And the contrasting heel and cuff.
Exactly. I meant to knit this toe solid color.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, like I meant
The toe, heel, and cuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I just noticed that. But it's okay. I really love this sock. Okay, so the reason it's huge, my feet are normal size for a woman. You know, I'm size like 7.5, 8. But this sock is enormous because I wanted it to be very chunky. I tried it on and it does kind of roll a little bit. I don't care because I'm going to wear it around the house. The summer is coming up and my house gets really cold. Well, it doesn't get really cold. I have the air conditioner on the highest, coldest setting, and my floors get really cold. So while I like for the atmosphere to be cold and chilly, teeth chattering, I want my feet to be cozy. So this will also be good for winter as well. So yay, I love this sock. It's so, okay, I guess
It's a half object.
yeah, this is a half. This is a whip because this is the second one that I'm working on now. Okay, so let me tell you, I love knitting socks. I get very excited, and I don't know if anyone else is like this, but when I get to the heel flap, I get giddy, and when I get to the toe, I get so
like
excited.
mile markers.
Yeah, I just knit with a lot of happiness, and I always knit this part and this part in one sitting. So if I'm knitting the heel, I'm gonna knit that in one sitting, and it only takes. But I love this sock.
I like the color.
I love the color. You know, I love pink, right?
Yeah. Did you mention the yarn? I can't remember.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I have it. It's Red Heart.
Yeah.
It's Red Heart yarn, and it's acrylic because I wanted it to be a chunky sock. I did get some sock yarn from Patent. But I'll talk about it later. With acquisitions, I didn't bring it with me, but I'll still talk about it.
Sounds good.
So I got this yarn, and this is my contrasting yarn that rolls on the floor. So plenty of yarn there to.
What color is it? Does it have a colorway?
I don't have
You don't have the thing. That's good.
But it's
Here,
pink.
let's show it closer so you can see it.
I will find the color
nice
and
pink.
put it in the.
And this is the same brand, the stripey kind.
I'll find the color and give it to Gabie, and she will put it in.
Sounds good.
I'm excited about this sock.
It's
Because that means that I
satisfying to
actually
finish
finished something.
Yeah.
After 2 setbacks, you just want to kind of,
accomplish something.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
I
I
can
want to
understand that.
do.
Okay, so I have a finished object, which is not super surprising because I think I only had like this much of the toe left. So this is the first sock I did. This is in Patton's yarn, sock yarn. I got it at Joann Fabrics. The cream might also be Patton's. I know it's from the store as well, and it's a sock yarn. And I think they only have 2 brands of sock yarn there. So it's either Patton's or, I forget the other one, has a lady on the front, I think. So anyways, I did this one, the heel flap and gusset. I did a 2x2 rib.
What kind of heel did you do?
I don't know what the stitch is called. It looks almost like a
It
rib.
looks like the
But it's where
eye
you
partridge, but like you didn't.
Almost.
You didn't alternate the slip one knit one.
right.
Yeah.
It's
you
a
did
slip
it
one
in
knit
that
one,
straight row.
and I did the same slip one knit one here to make that tight because I like the feel of like sporty socks.
That's such a good idea.
So the other one, if you can remember from last time, if you watched it, I ran out of gray, so I have the cream on the toe. So I will have
That's cute.
a gray foot and a cream toed foot. But they fit nice.
You can start a trend.
Yes, and I like the tightness here because it really, I feel like it'll stay on well. I have not woven in my ends, but I still consider it a finished object. So, yay! And I made them a specific height because I have this pair of boots that are kind of short boots, and I think that with my boots they'll stick out like about that much. So that was my plan. So I think that's my only finished object from this week.
Really?
Yes. Okay, I really like your bag. Can you show it?
This is a whip bag I got it at Michael's. And I love how you can feed the yarn through it. I don't have a yarn bowl. I want one.
Yes, I do have a yarn bowl. But my
I need to
yarn
get
bowl
that in a
is
sock.
somewhat small, so it works really well for like a sock. But for a larger project, well, as long as you're only using like the one, you can't have more than one in the bowl. It does work, but I don't want to bring it with me. You know, it's not something you tote with you.
Yeah, you don't tote it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes these bags so
And this
nice.
one has it too.
Yeah,
this
it's
one
got
has
the holes
two.
on the front. I know, and that way you're working with more than one yarn.
Right.
Yeah.
You did color work.
Yeah. But this is my other whip.
Whips.
So I'm working on a sock. And this is an accessory. This is a headband I'm working on.
And a headband. Yay. I sent Keisha a picture of a headband recently because she mentioned that she doesn't wear hats.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe this would suit your fancy.
And
this is a different one though, a different headband.
I have knitted a lot of hats for other people. I've never knitted one for myself, which is crazy. I'm going to do that though because I need a hat. I should have a hat. Even though I don't.
We're on the East Coast.
Right.
We get all 4 seasons, which I love.
Exactly. So I will knit a hat. That's definitely coming up. But meanwhile, I wanted to knit this headband, and I did my own design. This is half of it. Okay, so this part here, I'm going to get a little closer, but I just want to explain. This top part right here, I would put this on my head, but I'm not trying to look dumb. So I'm just going to show you and let you imagine. And then when I finish it, I will put the details about it. When I post it, I'll probably post it on Instagram. I will share the details there. But
and the next time we podcast, maybe it'll be done. You can try.
Oh, it'll totally be done. I can finish this tonight. I whipped this up so quickly. So this is the side that goes down around the back of your head. And this is the top part. And this is the first half of the top part that fits right at the crown. And then I have to knit the other side of it that goes down the left side of your head, my head. So I want to get a little closer because I want to explain. And I'm sorry, like we don't know how to do like the live knitting thing where we, so I'm just going to get close. I mean, I hope you don't mind us getting all in the camera, but these stitches, this design is called the Eyelet Lattice Insertion. Now, I pronounce it lattice because just in case someone noticed it, like it's lattice. Well, I'm from New Orleans, okay? I'm a native New Orleanian, and when we see words like that, we say lattice. That's just the way I pronounce it.
Is that because
it's the French influence?
I was going to say the French, right?
But sometimes we just say stuff our own way.
Don't we all have our own little dialects, I suppose?
And this stitch is actually better worked in multiples of 8, but I actually didn't do that. Okay, the main part is multiples of 8, but when I did my increases for the band part that goes over the top of your head, I only worked 25 stitches. And the reason I did that is because I wanted this part to curve. This is the part that's going to be at the back, pointed towards the back, and this is the part that will show. So I wanted it to sort of grip like a little crown or tiara.
And it's kind of golden.
Yeah.
It's all golden.
Yeah. Oh, and this yarn is by Lion Brand.
I like the color.
I love this color.
It's
called,
kind of marled.
It looks like honey wheat. That's what I like about it. It looks like honey wheat. And it's called Bryce Canyon, and it's from their Heartland line. I don't know how well you can, it's gorgeous. Like
it is
in
really
person.
pretty.
It has little specks of like a toasted like toffee nut. It looks so delicious. I don't know, I'm just hungry.
You're gonna eat them. This is the second time you've mentioned food.
I know. I think I'm hungry. I will definitely have lunch when we're done.
I don't know if the sun is messing up the
Yeah, it's not doing it justice. You guys, it's so pretty. I hope that I can get good pictures of it. And one more thing. So when I complete this, which will be really soon, I was inspired to give it a companion. So I'm glad I put a tab on it.
Yeah.
That would have taken a long time. I'm going to knit this.
Oh my goodness, that's like the same color.
Cuff. Exactly. I'm going to knit this cuff.
Oh, that'd be so cute.
Isn't it gonna be cute?
Yes.
And you get that instant gratification because you can knit this in one sitting.
And it'd be a nice, like you say, if you've gotten frustrated with a project.
Yeah.
Or if you're between projects, do something. Show the front of the book.
Yeah, it's from Knockout Knits.
Oh.
And there are a lot of great projects in this book.
Cute. I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I got it for Christmas.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So that's it for my whips.
Your whips.
How
Okay.
about you?
My whips, last time I mentioned, actually no, before that, I will talk about this one. So I wanted another whip because currently I only have one because I finished this in my socks this past week and this not too long ago. And then I have another summer sweater, which I'll show in just a minute. And I showed last time. It's not a finished object yet, but it's a half object, I'd say. So I wanted something else.
Right.
And I also wanted something that was wool instead of cotton. I don't know, do you get sore at all when you knit cotton, or have you knit cotton?
I haven't knit cotton yet.
No? I don't know if it's probably not just me, but when I knit cotton a lot, I think because it doesn't have like the elasticity, it's kind of stiff, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have much give. It'll hurt even my shoulder some if I knit it a lot.
I did get like cramping here.
Yeah.
I never got that before. And I think it's because I'm knitting this headband and it's my first time knitting it. And the needles are so tiny and there are a lot of like slipping. There's a lot of slip
and yarn
and yarn. Like I even have to do a knit 3 at some point, and trying to work with it had all of this cramping. So I soaked my hands in a warm bowl of, I filled up a bowl of, I said a warm bowl. I filled up a bowl with warm water and Epsom salt.
Yeah.
Epsom salt.
Epsom, yeah.
Yeah, and it just feels so much better because I don't have
That's good.
hand aches or anything.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
The weird thing is if I get sore at all, it's like when I'm knitting cotton or something, and it's up here, which I don't know if I really like get into it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but you gotta turn.
So, anyways, I wanted something. I find also fingering weight is easier on my hands and arms and stuff than the bulkier weight. And so I wanted something in fingering weight, and I wanted something in wool. So I started
But this is wool?
Yes.
Oh wow.
I started a shawl. Yes, it's these are, I'm using leftovers. I'll have to show my leftover stash that I'm trying to work up. So I started this lace, which I'll show you where it's from in a minute. And it's going to be, I don't know how well you can see this, but it's going to be like a trapezoid shawl. So I'm gonna have it come up like this, and then it'll go straight for a little while, and then have the taper back down to a point on the other side. But it's only increased on one side and not the other. So, in skipping a little bit to an acquisition for me, I got this, which some of y'all may know, the Japanese Knitting Stitch Bible.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I've been just searching through this, looking at it over and over again. They have
Is that from the
such...
library?
No, I purchased it. I got it online. I think it might even be used, but it has such beautiful stitches in here.
know. I looked through that book. I'm
Yeah.
always in Barnes and Noble. Maybe I shouldn't tell people that. But
Isn't
I
it so
flipped
pretty?
through that book and I was just like, oh.
And it's the hardest thing about this is figuring out which stitch to use in your design.
Yeah.
So I have two different things I got from there. This one is just like a 5 stitch repeat, and then I think it's like a 3 or 4 row repeat. So it's a fairly simple one. And then this one's a little more complicated, but not too bad. It has a little bit of cabling, 4 stitch cables here and here, and then it has the little holes, so it has a little bit of lace. I'm super excited about it.
It's so good. Can I?
Yes, you can look at it, thanks. And the yarn,
Did you start here and then do increases?
yes, so I'm increasing just on the one side until I get to the width that I want. So this is my first color, and I believe this is just a sock yarn from Joanne Fabrics. It might be Patterns, or the other one. So I just took all of my leftovers, sorry for the crinkling, of sock yarn, and I'm trying to make some type of fade. We'll see how it works. I don't know. I might end up having to go buy, oh, excuse me, losing yarn.
Oh.
I might have to end up going and buying some, but I don't know. So let's see if I can hold this right.
Let me help you.
These, well, it has to be in order.
Oh.
So I'm thinking,
I'm no help.
you can't even see this one in the middle. So I'm thinking I started with this blue, and then, no, you can't see that one at all. I'll do 3 at a time, how about that? Starting with the blue, and then going to this one, I think it's called Dirty Unicorn. It might be Sweet Georgia Fibers again, not sure. And then this one's a little grayer than the first one. And then I was gonna go from that to this, which is left over from my Sunset Highway. And it has some black speckles in there and yellow and stuff. And then this one's the most gray. I don't know how well any of this is showing up on the camera, but so I was gonna try to do some type of fade. Let's see if I can really do this. Hey, I did it. We'll see how it works. I'm just playing around. It's fun though. And then my second whip is in half object high. My summer sweater design that I showed last time. I had just begun the hem and that slip stitch part. So this, it has little eyelets.
Good.
Thanks. That little drop stitch
Is
thing.
it gonna be a crop top?
It is. It's gonna be to the waist.
Oh.
Let's see. There we go. So my belly button's about right here, but I am a little bit short waisted. So about right here. And it's cotton and it is super soft. It has little eyelets and the drop stitches. And then the back side, I have already begun. And this has a hem. So it's the same thing on the back, only I made the hem slightly longer on the back so that, just a moment, when you seam it together on the sides, you'll leave the hem open and then the back will be longer than the front. Because I'm always tugging down the back of my shirts. Do you know what I mean? Like when you sit down and your jeans come down a little bit, you want to make sure you're covered in the back.
Yeah.
So I was making the back just a little bit longer than the front. Just the hem section.
Right.
So you'll seam it from, it'll be like a little bit of a split hem. What do they call that? Bents or split? Maybe it's just split hem on the side.
I think it's just a split hem.
Just
I've
a
never
split.
heard of anything else.
Split hem. It'll be a little bit longer on the back. So I'm excited.
It looks comfortable. Looks
Yes,
glamorous.
it is. It's very soft. And it'll be lightweight and airy, and I can just wear a little tank top under it, and
Yeah.
it'll be great. I'm excited about it. But, so this is made out of that cotton that I believe I showed you last time in ivory. My daughter decided to scribble on the thing. I think it's from Hobby Lobby. I originally bought this yarn a long time ago, and I had checked out a book from the library. Have you heard of Rowan Yarns?
Yeah.
It's a yarn company. They have books as well with patterns.
Mm-hmm.
They had this amazing book that they took a lot of their like old patterns and like remade them to make them a little more modern. And there was this cotton cropped sweater that had kind of a zigzaggy border on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was really cool. And it was a cotton about this width, but knit with very small needles, so it made a very thick fabric. And so I started that. You know, I got pretty far in it.
Oh.
Yeah, I got pretty far in it, but my arm hurt so bad after knitting this cotton with
Did you do
those
the
tiny
arm stretches?
It's that it has no give, and using those tiny needles to do it.
Oh, I see.
And it's also moss stitch. So it's not
Yeah.
like I'm just knitting. It's knitting moss stitch with tiny needles, It made a cool fabric, but it's just not worth it. So anyways, the rest of this yarn for my new sweater is in this. So I'm gonna take this apart, finish taking it apart and undoing it and make it into something new. That's the beauty of yarn.
Yeah.
Like when you sew and you cut something and you do it wrong, you might not be able to fix it.
Yeah.
Because you don't have enough fabric. But with knitting, you can just take it back out.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So I want to bring up failure.
Okay.
Failure.
I think I already mentioned my failures. I just ripped back. I'm not going to show anybody my failures.
But I don't know. I don't see a whole lot of failures out there in the knitting world because we all want to put our best foot forward. But I think failures are such a part of learning.
Yeah.
We did a book, so I consider that a failure because I spent a lot of work on it, and I'm not going to finish it. So instead of letting it sit there and taunt me, I'm just going to take it out and make something new.
That's right.
But I think, were you in this book club?
Yeah.
We did a book club. It's by Kathy Lipp, Cure for the Perfect Life. And so when I was thinking about what I was going to show today and ripping out that, this book came to mind. It's pretty good, especially if you struggle at all with perfection, which I think most people do in some area of their life. We all don't want to look like failures in front of people, and we all don't want to necessarily admit all of our failures. But I really liked, let's see. She says to create a sign, which I haven't done, but I wanted to, and maybe I still will. Mistakes are good, struggles make you smarter. And I think the best way to learn is by failing. So I failed, and I have more failures to show. Maybe it'll be a regular segment, all of our past failures.
Yeah. I learned a lot from failing in knitting.
Yes, and I also learned that not only did I knit cotton with tiny needles in moss stitch, but I learned that I was twisting, the way I was wrapping my yarn, which I didn't realize was wrong, was causing my needles or my yarn to twist. And so every one of these stitches is twisted. I was knitting through the front loop, but I was wrapping it wrong.
Oh.
And so knitting through the front loop was basically like knitting through the back loop. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but pay attention to the way you wrap your yarn. You might be twisting your stitches and not even know it. Yeah. And so I think that contributed to my the soreness I had, because doing the twisted stitches is a little more difficult. Which reminds me,
the soreness. Did you?
Time. I actually had to take a break from knitting for a little while. That was terrible.
Yeah, I took a 24-hour break from knitting when
No, mine was weeks.
I remember
a while.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a long while.
Yeah.
I know that when I used to crochet a lot, I went through a period where I used to crochet a lot, and I sprained my my thumb and my wrist, and I had to wear a little cast on it.
Oh.
And it's so funny, like the experience you have when you walk around with something like that on. People are like, "Are you okay?" It's like, "I'm okay." It just draws so much attention. I'm scared this at home.
Not out.
Because people just want to help you.
You know what? That's funny. One other thing I wanted to mention. I feel like I'm scattered today, but that's okay. I wanted to mention that the bottom of my my thing here, speaking of twisted stitches, is intentionally a twisted rib at the bottom. I actually videoed my hands doing it, so I thought maybe I could insert it here.
Yeah.
Movie magic. It's not a tutorial, but it's just a demo.
Yeah.
Um,
You're enjoying this editing.
yes, I am. I'm
I
having
need
fun
to get
with
more
it.
tech savvy.
I'm
I'm
having
just
fun with it.
figuring out how to like do stuff on Instagram, you know, but
Mhm. I
need
know
to-
you actually posted a video on Instagram
Yeah, I
of you
actually did a
knitting the
video.
other day.
I
That's so very
I was excited to do that.
social media knitter of you. All right, do you have any other knitting to show?
You know, I wanted to talk about yarn acquisition.
Yes,
I wanted to clarify something because I think I misrepresented myself. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the last video, but I often joke about how much yarn I have. I actually don't have that much yarn. This is what happened. I went on a yarn shopping spree last December because I had given away so much yarn. I taught a knitting class to girls, school age girls, ages 10, 11, and 12. And I gave them a lot of my yarn. Yeah.
Oh,
There's an exploration class in a local elementary school. They do it every spring. And so I taught knitting. And I gave away a lot of my yarn. So I just needed to replenish. But now when I go in and buy yarn, when I go to the yarn store to shop, I do try to shop by project, just so that I'm not hoarding yarn. Not that anything's wrong with that. That's the only kind of hoarding I promote. You can always knit your stash or shop your stash first. So if you do like to if you see yarn and you're like, I don't have a project in mind, but I do want to buy this yarn, that's okay. I'm not anti-yarn hoarding. I would just rather not hoard yarn. But anyway, I do have an acquisition. I went into Hobby Lobby the other day for the first time.
For the first time ever?
Ever.
Oh.
And I had to have a talk with myself.
It's a big store if y'all haven't been there.
But the yarn section, I saw yarn that I had never seen before. I saw fibers that I didn't know existed, like Tencel. Did you guys know about Tencel? Did you know about Tencel? I dropped my needle.
Tencel?
I got this Tencel yarn.
Do you want me to hold it up for you?
Mm-hmm. I just want to see where it says Tencel. Oh, come on. Just delete this long pause. Oh, here it is. You know, I'm dropping needles. We're gonna have a lot of editing to do this time.
I feel like we are gonna have more this time.
Okay, so let me get close. Oh, I just had it. 100% Tencel. Isn't that cool? Cool.
I don't even know what that means. Did you look it up?
It's from a tree.
Really?
Yes.
I
looked
had bamboo yarn at one point in time.
Mhm.
Is it similar to bamboo yarn?
Tencel is a natural. It's
It
made
feels similar,
from.
and it's kind of I don't know if y'all can see it. It kind of has a little bit of a sheen to it.
It does. And I'm gonna use this for socks. And
Tencel.
then, you know, I told you I was project shopping, okay? So I didn't splurge and I didn't go crazy. I almost did. And I stepped out of my moment of craziness and I said, let me just I did pick up some pretty needles that I didn't bring. I'll bring it next time.
Yeah.
But I got the same, I just realized as you were showing your yarn, I got the same one for my Debbie Bliss. I'm gonna start in May. My Debbie Bliss blouse, my summer blouse.
Yes.
I got the I love cotton.
Oh, yes.
I love this cotton.
Because that's where I got it at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, so I picked that up.
It's not expensive either.
It's not. So I got that for my blouse and I'm excited. So that's it for acquisitions. I didn't know we were gonna have that segment. Just add it in.
I have, let's see, I showed my book. That was my acquisition. And then, one more acquisition. Now, I'm not sure if I should call this, I guess it's an acquisition. I did not purchase it. I went and saw my parents yesterday. My dad turned 64, and so we had a little birthday party. My nephew was there, and my kids, and they played outside a lot. But my grandmother gave this to my mom, and it is a whole spool of cotton, white cotton. It is large.
That's sweet.
Yes. So it was free to me, but it's still an acquisition. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. It's not, it feels a little more rustic than
Yeah,
the
that's
I
like
Love
a towel.
Cotton.
Like you could
Yes.
knit, you could probably knit. I love knitting dishcloths. I should bring some of mine
Yeah,
after I wash
that's
them.
a good thing. I guess I could do white dishcloths
Yeah.
with it. I don't know. I could potentially even maybe do something summery with it that you could like maybe wear to the pool
Yeah.
or something. I don't know. So that's my acquisition, along with my Japanese stitch Bible. I don't think I have anything else that I purchased. I want to purchase some stuff.
What do you want to purchase?
I want to get that Lindy chain yarn from Knit Picks in a blush color. And
Rose blush. I love
yes,
that.
and either knit a summer shawl like I was talking about last time, or else knit another t-shirt. Yes. I like summer knitting. And I like that yarn because it has a little more give than the cotton. So what
else
about
are
you?
doing?
You have dream knitting?
Well, I'm just going to. I have the same dream knitting I did in the last video. So just.
But you got your yarn for it.
Yeah, I did. I haven't started on it yet because I do have an in-between project. I didn't want to mention it because I didn't even cast it on yet. So
That's okay.
yeah,
What is it?
it's another shirt. It's going to be a top that I can wear during the summer. I talked about some of my dream knitting in the last video, but two of those items will not be touched until after summer because I'm trying to get tops that I can wear now. I'm looking for some more, like I want to knit things that I can wear like right after it's done. I want to be able to wear it.
Yes.
So,
I always want to wear my stuff immediately.
yeah. So I'm just gonna. I have 2 summer tops basically, and I'm giving myself an entire month to knit the Debbie Bliss top that I showed in the last video. It's so pretty.
It is pretty.
And there are a lot of little details at the shoulder, and I love lace. I don't think, if I remember correctly, I didn't bring it with me. I haven't looked at it in a while, but I think there's something lacy going on. If not, I'll probably figure out a way to add something lacy.
There was something, and it wasn't all over lace, but there was definitely some lace on it.
There are a lot of
It's
cute
really pretty.
details.
What
at the
color did you
arms.
get?
I got ivory.
Oh,
And I thought
Which
I was
is-
gonna get blush. But you know what? I'm going to knit another top in blush. So I decided, because I got the alpaca, the Line brand Touch of Alpaca yarn. And
right.
I'm
Which
going
you
to
showed
get-
that last time too.
And it's in a blush color. And I love pink. So I don't wear it all the time because, you know, I like other colors too, and I don't want to wear my favorite color all the time.
You might get sick of it then.
No, I just don't want it to be like, gosh, that's your favorite color, isn't it? Like, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like, calm down.
Oh, I had another question. Have you watched any new podcast?
Like I have found 2 podcasts that I will sometimes watch, like maybe once a week. I'll watch one episode, and that's, of course, Fruity Knitting that I talked to you about. And
I love fruity knitting.
I watched Stitching Over the Days. But I'm all caught up on her because she only has about 19 videos. I watched Basic Stitch Knitting. And
I haven't heard of that one.
I saw her, it was recommended, and I like it.
Was it recommended by YouTube?
Yeah,
One of the
recommended by
suggested
YouTube.
ones? Yeah.
And also the Crimson Stitchery. I just started watching her. So,
Yeah? I haven't heard of her either. That's interesting.
yeah. So,
I watch a number of them. I always try to watch Homespun House. Have you seen her?
no.
She's cute. She has.
But I'll check her out.
Yeah, she has a yarn dyeing business, so then she does her podcast. It's usually just her, and she talks about whatever she's doing, and she shows her beautiful yarn, of course. And we may have mentioned, I don't know, Hey Sister Yarn Company.
Yeah, I've watched them. I've watched quite a few of their episodes.
Yeah, theirs is cute just because they're sisters and their interaction is really cute. So I like them a lot. And they have little kids, and I think that, was it Tabby the brown-haired one. I think she homeschools her kids, and I homeschool my 3 kids. And so I guess I feel like I can relate. And she's not actually, they're only one state over. They're in West Virginia.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're not that far from us, which I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Makes them relatable for some reason.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to bring up was, speaking of you liking lion brown a lot,
Mm-hmm.
have you heard of Two of Wands?
Yes, you told me about her,
Yes,
and I
she's
started
a
following
designer.
her on Instagram.
Yeah.
She has a flutter.
Have you seen it? Yeah.
It's a flutter sleeve, right?
She has a new
Top.
line that just came out,
Mhm.
partnering with Lion
Lion
Brand
Brand.
yarn, and one of them, yeah, it reminds me of you. It's kind of sort of sleeveless, but it has like these flutter.
Yeah, it's like a ruffled sleeve,
Mhm.
but it's still sleeveless. And
Yeah.
they have a
It's
new,
fairly chunky yarn too. It's at least
Yeah.
worsted weight. It's not.
they have a
thin
new
yarn.
brand, a new line in their brand coming out. I think it's called Cotton Jeans. I think that's
Ah.
the.
Is that
word
what she
was
used?
using. I think so. I might be
Yeah.
wrong, but it's something along the lines of that. And they have some solid color ones too. I saw quite a few people on Instagram with those yarns starting to knit things. So I wonder if they're light for summer. 'Cause it seems like they're really
It's
starting to
cotton.
advertise them now a lot.
And last summer, I think it's We Are Knitters. I think that's what the line it is. We Are Knitters had a line of, they actually did recycled jeans and made it into yarn,
Oh,
which is interesting. Yeah. But
That's
I liked
good.
Two of Wands in that most recent line with the ruffled top. She also had that retro top.
right.
Where I don't know if it's embroidery or intarsia,
Mhm.
but she does like the sunset thing, and it's
Yes, I
speaking
saw
of,
that.
isn't that kind of 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
You
thought
know,
that was
the
super
ruffled
cute, too.
top reminded me of this top.
I originally
little
was
bit.
gonna do a ruffle on this one.
And that's why I thought your top
Yeah.
looked 70s, because
Yeah.
it seems like there's a throwback going on.
Yeah, it's going back to 70s, I think.
I love
I like the 70s.
retro looks, but I love looks from, of course, like way long time ago. Like those, I like to wear my hair pinned up and tucked up.
Like 50s?
And yeah, like
Yeah.
is that 50s or 30s or 40s? I don't know.
I'm picturing like the,
But
the
even
red
like
lips.
even like the centuries old pinned up hair.
Mhm.
And with headbands. Like that's
Yeah.
usually like when I want to put my hair away. And that's why I'm going to knit a hat. I do have a design that I'm doing myself that I'm working on that I
For a hat?
yep, for a hat
Oh.
for spring. And on the days where for spring and summer, and
Mm-hmm.
on the days where I want to just like tuck all my hair away, I'm gonna make it slouchy.
Mhm.
Slouchy.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna make it slouchy so that I can just tuck out my hair in it for those days when you don't feel like doing an intricate pinned up situation. But I do love the
Thank you.
pin-up girls look. With
Pin
the,
up girl. That's
yeah.
that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I guess that's about all we have for today. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching and thanks for being with us. Thanks to everyone who, congratulated us on our
On our first episode.
first
last time.
episode. We appreciate your comments.
We had a really warm welcome, which we were surprised that anyone watched. So
yeah,
thank you guys.
We really appreciate the support. And thank you for joining our knitting celebration. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you watch this podcast and you like to knit and eat and drink stuff, tell us what you're knitting and eating and drinking, since I'm hungry and I keep talking about food. So if you're eating
Maybe we'll learn
pizza-
something new.
If you're eating pizza and it's homemade, definitely tell me, share the recipe.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It's our knitting circle. So we'll
That's
talk
right.
about other things sometimes, but it'll always come back to knitting.
Of course.
Yep.
It's the strand that binds us together.
Exactly.
All right, bye.
Bye.